Well, good morning. Welcome to the office. Just kidding.
You gonna be Dwight?
Too informal, right? So, well, welcome. For those who don't know us, I am Philip. I am the director of the Christ Chapel Leadership Residency, and this is Sarah Stiles. I call her the most amazing number one, and just amazing. So, she is the associate minister
To women.
to women. Yes,
One of the many.
one of the many, but the best that we have right now for our residency, and we welcome her with wide open arms. So anyways, want to talk about the Christ Chapel Leadership Residency, and how this is going to work is we're going to define some terms for this rotation, and then we put together some FAQs, frequently asked questions, and Sarah and I, we're going to bounce uh, the ideas and concepts off each other. And if I leave anything out, Sarah, please correct me.
Will do.
So, Christ Chapel Leadership Residency, these are the terms that we're going to use: coaching, observation, projects, and synergy. Something that we need to define as well is Sarah and I function as shepherds. And so you will see the difference between how we use the word coaching and how we use the word shepherds. We will be involved with the residents' everyday life, as well as their school schedule and self-leadership. And so it's a lot of it is incumbent on us to kind of hold them accountable. And so that's kind of our roles. And so what is the mission of Christ Chapel's leadership residency program? Well, our residency is to utilize positive coaching, and we'll talk about coaching here in a little bit, focused observation, and project control to develop or to create team synergy. And so I'll walk through this as our mission statement for the residency program. Now, you might be wondering, where's the spiritual content? Well, that's in our leadership manual, and I kind of wanted to separate the two. We will adopt Christ Chapel's core values, and a lot of you did this program with me last year, and so we have adopted Christ Chapel's core values as well as Christ Chapel's mission statement. So that's not going to change. However, we do want to define more terms and try to kind of hit the mark even better this go around. Mm-hmm. So what is coaching? Well, coaching is to help someone develop and grow. I think that's the easiest way we can define coaching. And the goal of coaching is the process of development. So a lot of you're going to be involved in at least the first go around in providing critique, in providing a time of debrief that can also be your time of coaching. And your responsibility is to maximize their skill and to help them live up to their potential in order to develop greater competence and greater confidence. And so our desire as you walk with them is to coach them up. And you're going to have an opportunity to do it in your introduction to your ministry philosophy. You're going to be able to do it in the ministry observation opportunities that you will have with them, and your time of debrief. And we'll talk about that later, but I do want to walk through these terms with you first. The second is observation is the act and process of inspection and examination of something for the purpose of gaining or learning information. And so this semester, we're going to do things a little bit different. You're going to have a time where you're going to introduce your ministry philosophy, and you're going to have a time at the end of the month to do a ministry debrief. The residents will follow up on a checklist and attend your ministry. And so, Sarah, you can fill in on this. If for women's ministry, if they do the introduction with Shelley Davis, they will also do a debrief with Shelley Davis at the end of the month. But everything in between, they get to attend women's ministry on a Thursday morning, for example. Attend a Women in the Word, and that would be a ministry observation time, right, Sarah?
Right. Yeah, lots of observation in the middle of the month. So.
And so a coach teaches that and passes along skills that residents can observe. So they will get to watch someone like a Sarah Stiles or someone like a Ben Fuquay if they were to attend a Renovate meeting. A coach is the ultimate observer, providing sustainable insight and training as to what is happening for a resident. And so that's what we want to do. This is our goal for observation.
Mhm.
The third is projects. Project is an initiative that derives a certain result in a limited duration while satisfying a presupposed objective or a desired result. You will not, in the first semester, have anything to do with like a big project. Like you're not assigning responsibilities or ministry responsibilities. So most of the residents will do their projects in a form of a debrief. And so they will debrief with you, which means they will bring question and answers, but they will also meet with Sarah and I. As shepherds, we will assign a 1 or 2 page paper that they will write that will have kind of a critique of different ministries and provide feedback. And then we in turn will do some correction as well. And so these debriefs become a pivotal time for them to learn. And so that's kind of the project module we're going to use in the first semester, the first go around. By the second phase, which would be in the second semester, so everything is broken down by semesters. So by phase 2, they will be doing much greater projects that will focus around a course called Ministry Formation Internship. That's not something you as coaches are going to be involved with, but that's for their second semester, they will have projects for that course. So projects become a primary component that they can be measured by in this residency. Sarah, you have anything to add?
Would you say that the projects in phase 2 are more along the lines of what we would normally consider a project? And then that phase 1 is really, like you said, the debrief and assignments and more of like projects on a smaller scale.
Yeah, great point. So yes, so projects in the sense of the definition to get a desired result, that's more like in phase 2.
Yeah.
In a smaller way, we get to analyze their debriefs as a smaller version of what a project is. Yeah. Great question. So finally, the result is to develop a team synergy. So synergy is an ideal where a group working together towards one goal is greater than the sum of its parts. Synergy is ultimately created when an entire group can work together for one collective purpose. One of the things that we're going to do in building team synergy is having these feedback loops. You may be wondering, well, what is a feedback loop? Well, we're going to define that in a later question, so stay tuned for that. A feedback loop is going to be implemented throughout the residency's life. So in the 22 months, they will have different degrees of feedback, and it's a loop. It starts at 90 degrees, and then 180, 270, and then 360. So there's 4 ways of looking at this feedback loop. Now, Sarah reminded me that we don't want to get caught up in the quadrants. It's not so much the quadrants as much as it is a loop. So when we're thinking of a 90-degree feedback, we're thinking about one thing. When we think about 180, we're thinking about one thing, then 270 and 360. So in a 360 feedback loop, we're looking at the coach's critique or feedback on the resident. Each of the feedbacks will develop each individual. So as these individuals develop, they get stronger, they get more mature, they develop this greater competence and greater confidence, then they become a better team. Yeah. And so in this Christ Chapel Leadership Residency, we're not looking so much at, hey, let's develop the individual. We're looking at more so at developing this team. We are a team. We are working together. So if we succeed together. If we fail together. And so these are the definitions for the Christ Chapel Leadership Residency. Sarah, do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, and I would say if you're confused at all with the degrees, just hold on, because there's a diagram that's going to be super helpful in explaining that. But really what you need to understand as a coach is the 360 part of the diagram, not so much the other parts. I mean, obviously understand those too, but the 360 is where you will come in.